Today on Forbes, Biden's EV battery boom is coming, whether Trump wants it or not. In 2022, President Joe Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act, the single biggest effort to combat climate change in American history. President-elect Donald Trump has pledged to gut it, deriding it as part of the, quote, green new scam. But because the IRA has already pumped billions of dollars into clean energy projects across the country, especially battery-related ones, much of it to red states, he's unlikely to pull it off. With this specifically, there is little he can do to slow Biden's agenda. Much of the $400 billion of IRA funds for clean energy, and some from the bipartisan infrastructure law, have already been dispersed as multi-billion-dollar loans and grants that Trump can't undo. Simon Moores, CEO of London-based Benchmark Mineral Intelligence, told Forbes, quote, "For the battery industry, $110 billion has been handed out and can't be repealed. The vast majority will come online during the Trump 2.0 years, so whether President-elect Trump likes it or not, he will oversee the great U.S. battery boom." But that's no guarantee that America's growing electric vehicle industry will keep surging under the incoming president. One challenge is the potential elimination of $7,500 tax credits for EV purchases that help keep them more affordable. A bigger one may be Trump's threat of levying 60% tariffs on Chinese goods. While many electric vehicles sold in the US are built here, the vast majority of their battery components and materials come from China. And if Trump goes through with his tariffs, that would cause costs to skyrocket, stalling US EV sales and keeping China the world's dominant maker of batteries, not to mention EVs, solar panels, and wind turbines. Cutting US reliance on critical minerals and materials sourced from China, many of which are also important for military hardware, is why the Biden administration also doled out funds to build up a domestic supply base for battery materials, including refining of lithium and graphite, and production of anodes and cathodes. It's nascent, but promising. General Motors, Hyundai, Toyota, Honda, Ford, Rivian, Stellantis, Tesla, Volvo, and battery components companies like Redwood Materials are capitalizing on the government funds by building new US EV and battery plants with an estimated 40 factories under construction that begin opening in 2025. These include Panasonic's $4 billion battery plant in Kansas, Honda's $3.5 billion battery venture with LG Energy Systems in Ohio, and Hyundai's $5.5 billion so-called Meta plant in Georgia that will produce EVs, plug-in hybrids, and hybrids, as well as their lithium-ion batteries starting in early 2025. Despite Trump's pledge to halt federal climate action and roll back myriad environmental regulations, all this battery investment aligns with other parts of his domestic agenda, namely bringing more manufacturing jobs back to the States and keeping the United States strong against China. And it certainly doesn't hurt that many of the new battery factories are popping up in red states that he carried in the election, with 19 out of 25 plants in Republican congressional districts. General Motors alone has committed more than $4 billion to battery ventures, all in states Trump carried in the 2024 election. For the companies building these plants, it's not just about getting government money. Kurt Kelty, vice president of GM's battery and cell pack unit and a Tesla veteran who helped build up its US battery operations, said investing in US-based manufacturing helps drive down costs and boosts GM's global competitiveness by reducing reliance on imports. He said, quote, "The investments we've made and will continue to make towards battery innovation, vertically integrated cell development, and local production with a skilled workforce will strengthen GM's position." Underscoring the rush of big battery investments into Republican states, the Biden administration earlier this week finalized a $9.63 billion federal loan for 3 joint venture plants Ford and South Korea's SK On are building in Kentucky and Tennessee. For full coverage, check out Alan Owensman's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.